So we are making a 6 pieces skirt with 6 panels. That is what makes it a 6 pieces skirt actually, because it has 6 panels. So to determine the fullness of how the down part will be, I usually multiply the hip times how full I want the down part to be. You can do your hip times 2, your hip times 3, your hip times 4, your hip times 5, 6, depending on how full you want. So I am using my hip times 4 for this um particular skirt. So I'm working with hip 43. 43 times 4 gives me 172, and 17, that's whatever I get, I'm going to divide it into 6 places, which means that each panel is going to have one of it. So I have 43 times 6 times 4, sorry, giving me 172. 172 divided by 6 would give me 28.6. That's approximately 9 inches. What it means is that each panel of this 6 pieces skirt would be 28 at the hemming part. So that way the fullness at the hemming part of this skirt is 28 per panel. So if you multiply times 4 times 5, whatever you have, divide it by 6, depending on the fullness of the down part, and that is what's going to give you that's what's going to help you to be able to calculate for your fabric very well. So for me, I did my hip times 4. After that, I divided by 6, and I have approximately 29 inches. So I'm going to cut that 29 inches. This is for one panel. I'm starting my cutting using my center front. So I'm going to cut out 29 inches. This is 29 inches. So I've gotten, this is what the hemming part of my skirt would be per panel. So it depends on what you want or how full you want the hemming part of yours to be. So after getting that, this is for one panel actually. This is my center front. I would love to start cutting with my center front. The next thing I will do is to get my bust point to bust point. My bust point to bust point is actually 4.5 for this person. So this, my center front is on fold. I'm going to mark 4.5. I'm going to be marking from the waist to the hip line, which is 9 inches, the waist to the knee part, which is 18 inches. After getting this is the this is 4.5. At the hip part, I'll measure 4.5. But when I get to this knee part, I will minus half of an inch, and I'll measure 4 inches. After doing this, I'm going to connect with a straight line down to the knee part. Then next thing I will do is to connect straight to the ending part of this, and I'll cut it. So this is my center front, like I said earlier. So you can actually add half inch for joining allowance. Now my center front is ready. You can see I have my panel on fold, so I should be having something at least 14.25 here. So that's what I have, 14.25. So when it's open, it becomes 29 inches. So the next thing I'll be doing is to cut the side fronts. So I have my center panel, and I have my fabric on fold. This will serve as my side front for the left side and the right side. And the next thing I'm going to do is to pick up this. I'm going to, first of all, this part that has this V, this shape of, I'm going to place it on one part first. So when I place it like this, I would cut. So after cutting, this is what I have. I would now lift it up, place it on each other by at least half of an inch, and then I'll start my fitting. Now I'm working with waist inch of about I'm working with waist measurement of 33. 33 divided by 4 would give me 8.25. So I would mark my 8.25 here. Then I would add my 2.5 inches for sewing allowance. I'll mark from the waist to the hip measurement, to the hip line, which is 9 inches. I'm working with hip 43. Hip 43 divided by 4 would give me 10.75. I would mark my 10.75. Then add my 2.5 inches for sewing allowance. Then I'll connect. I would mark my waist to my knee of 18 inches. After doing that, I'll minus 6 inches from my hip measurement. So my hip measurement is 43. I'm going to be doing 43 minus 6 inches to get the fitting for the round knee here. So 43 minus 6 inches give me 37. I'm going to be doing that 37 divided by 4, and it's going to give me 9.25. So I'm going to make sure that here is overlapped by at least half inch, and I'm going to be marking 9.25 here. After marking that 9.25 here, I would add my 2.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So this is what I have. Then when it comes to this hemming part, remember that we are working with the panel of 26.6, which is approximately 29. I would make sure that that is what I have here. Then I'll connect. After doing that, I'm going to cut my side front. So this is what I have. I have my center front and my side front ready. So we are going to cut the back right away. Okay, so I have my side front placed on this fabric, and this fabric is on fold. So all I need to do at this part, I would come down by at least to the hip line, which is 9 inches, and I will mark half of an inch here from the waistline at this part, not the hip side now, the dart line. I'm going to come down by 9 inches. Then from this I'll come out by half. This is just to give it a bum lift. So I will just connect it and then connect it back into this, and then I'll cut exactly this. There's no other thing I'm going to be doing. So I've cut the side back. The only difference is this extra half inch here. So I will lay that aside and we'll cut the center back together. So okay, so I have my center front directly on this fabric that is on fold. So what I'll do first is to mark from the waist to 9 inches here. I will start doing my um waist to 9 inches at this other part too. This part that has the flare out, I will still mark that half of an inch that I did for the butt lift, and I'll connect it like this and connect it into the knee measurement. After doing that, I'll come to the zipper allowance. I would mark 1.5 at the waist. I would add my half inch to that 1.5 for the um, center back for the boot lift, which will make it 2 inches. Then for when I get to the knee, which is 18, I would mark 1.5 or 1 inch, but I will choose to mark 1.5 inch now. So I'll connect it. When I get to this part now, so when I get to the down part of this, I want it to have a bit of flare out, and I want it to have a little bit of train. I would come to the hemming part of this part that has this. I will start marking first. Then the train is about extra 10.5 inches. I'm going to curve it to have this train. Then I'm curving, remember I curved from this part to have that train. Then after that, from the knee part, I'm going to extend it out like this. So if you don't want any of this train, you can just cut your zipper allowance straight down. So I would extend the train down here and I'll cut. So this is what I have for my center front. This is my center front. This is my center front. It's out. Now this is how my center back looks like, with the train, the zipper allowance, and you see that the train has an extension, and this is like this. So the only thing I'm going to be doing right now is to cut the linings for these fabrics. Then I'm going to couple it, but I'll just guide you on how to couple yours. So I have my center back here and I have my center side back. So the only thing I'll be doing is to cut the linings. When I cut the linings, I would join the center back by my zipper allowance of 1.5 inch straight down. After doing that, I will take this side and I will join and join. Then I'll do the same thing to the front, join all panels together, do the same thing for the lining, and then I'll fit it to the person's measurements. And after that, your 6 pieces is ready. So please stay tuned to this channel. Thank you for stopping by. So that's the end of how to make your 6 pieces skirt. Till next time, I remain Sima Gold. Bye.